Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture series of design of steel structures. We are dealing with unit number 4th, design of flexural members. In design of flexural members, we have seen basic classification of your sections as laterally supported type and laterally unsupported type. In this particular video, we are going to see in detail design and analysis of laterally supported purlin. Usually, the top compression flange of your purlin section is supported by your roofing material, that may be either your sheets, GI sheets or asbestos cement sheet. Therefore, your purlin sections are coming under the category of design of laterally supported type of beams. So what are the types of loading? What are some of the specifications related with design of purlin that we are going to cover in this particular video? So just we'll have a look at some introduction to purlin sections. So in short introduction, in this particular figure you can see these are the members running parallel to length of building and are defined as your purlins. What purlins are doing? Purlins are generally carrying the weight of either the live load, weight of the sheets, or some portion of your wind force between your spacing of your truss. So that particular is carried by your purlin sections, and these are supported by your rafter sections. So these inclined members are your rafter sections on both the sides, and your purlins are running parallel to length. Therefore, in short, you can say that these are inclined members. So short introduction to it: purlins are the beams provided over the trusses to support the roofing system between the adjacent trusses. So this is the main thing related with your purlins. These are placed in inclined position over the principal rafter of truss. So already we know that principal rafter is inclined to certain inclination, that is inclination of principal rafter already we have seen, or theta angle, and therefore your purlin section is also inclined because of this particular force. So commonly channel sections and angle sections are used as a cross section for purlin. Purlins are subjected to wind force acting perpendicular to truss and gravity loads acting vertically downward. So from this particular figure you can understand your wind force will be acting depending upon the signature, either it will be a positive force or negative force. So it will be acting perpendicular to your purlin section, and in case of your gravity loading, that will be acting vertically downward. Therefore this particular gravity load will be divided into two components, perpendicular components, so horizontal component and vertical component. So here the angle is with respect to vertical, therefore vertical component is cos of theta, horizontal component is your sine of theta. The purlins are subjected to twisting and bending actions simultaneously. So these particular sections are to be designed using combined loading, correct? So here it will be subjected to bending moment along major axis as well as your minor axis because of vertical loading and horizontal loading. And usually purlins may be designed as a simply supported, therefore maximum bending moment will be WL square by 8. It may be designed as a continuous, therefore the moment will be WL square by 10. So certain continuity effect is there into consideration, which will increase the capacity. Therefore the factor denominator 10 is considered instead of 8. So in short, the bending moment will be reduced, and in case of cantilever it will be WL square by 2. In case of some of the cantilever projections for your parking sheds you may consider, so cantilever action is coming, and that cantilever action will be taking bending moment of WL square by 2. So short introduction, and these are the forces acting on your purlin sections. So two types of forces you need to consider: initially gravity load, that will be consideration of dead load and live load, and your wind forces which is acting perpendicular to your cross section. So related to this only we are going to see one numerical. So the details of the numericals are given here. Design a C section or channel section purlin for an industrial building situated in the outskirts of Allahabad to support a galvanized corrugated iron sheets for roof using following data. So data is given: spacing of the truss mentioned is 6 meters, span of the truss is 12 meters, spacing of purling is 1.5 meter, correct? So distance between two purlins, that is equal to 1.5 meters. Therefore for calculation of loading, this 1.5 value will be required, because intermediate loading between two purling section is to be considered, and for that 1.5 is required. Then rise of the truss is given as 3.47 meter. Intensity of wind pressure, so directly PD value is mentioned. Pressure intensity is 2 kilonewton per meter square. Weight of GI sheets is given 130 newton per meter square, and steel grade mention is Fe410. So this is the given data for the given numerical. Already we can define that PD value is equal to 2 kilonewton per meter square. Now again in solution, initially you need to calculate the loadings. So starting with first load, that is gravity load, weight of sheet. So weight of sheet is given as 130, and it will be it is a meter square loading. So therefore 1.5 value will be multiplied to this. This 1.5 is taken from this particular spacing. So this is equal to 195 Newton per meter. So UDL will be there. Again, we'll assume certain weight of your purling 100 Newton per meter. You can go with 100 or 110 also. So total dead load now it will be equal to 195 plus 100, that is equal to 295 Newton per meter. So this is combination of total vertical loading. So total vertical loading will be acting as 295 Newton per meter at an inclination of, this inclination is equal to 30 degrees. Total inclination is equal to 30 degrees. So this particular force will be resolved into two components. One component parallel to roof truss and second will be perpendicular to roof truss. So as the angle is with respect to vertical, your vertical component will be cos and horizontal component will be sine. So using that only, component of gravity load parallel to roof 295 sine of theta and perpendicular to roof will be 295 cos of theta. So two components are calculated. Now from figure only, just applying your equilibrium conditions, vertical forces will be added. Two vertical forces will be added and this particular horizontal force will be single. Now initially wind force acting is given as, your value is 2 kilonewton per meter square, again into 1.5 factor is to be considered. That factor is from your spacing 1.5. So that is equal to 3000 Newton per meter. Now adding two vertical forces and one horizontal, we are getting total force normal or perpendicular is 4 by again multiplying with partial safety factor. These 1.5 are your partial safety factors, gamma f value. So 4883.20 vertical and second will be 221.25 horizontal. So likewise total forces are calculated, and for these forces now you need to design your truss. So here maximum bending moment. So in this figure you can observe total amount of loading. First loading I have shown, that is vertical loading, combination of your total forces, that is 4883.2 Newton per meter, and horizontal is 221.25 Newton per meter. Now as this horizontal force is passing through z axis, it will be creating movement for your y side. Similarly, your vertical force 4883.2 will be creating movement along your z side. So likewise bending moments are to be calculated, and by considering WL square by 10 value, because we are assuming according to IS recommendation as continuous support, so it will be WL square by 10 value. So for calculating that values, you are getting maximum bending moment or ultimate bending moment about z side 17.57 kilonewton meter, and along y side it will be 0.796 kilonewton meter. So these moments are calculated for these forces given, considering span of 6 meters. Span we are considering equal to 6 meter and W square by 10 is the factor. So using this you can calculate the maximum bending moment for both the axes MUZ and MUY. Now using this you can calculate maximum plastic section modulus required for maximum bending moment 17.57. We are having design bending strength equals to, you can calculate that formula beta B into ZPZ into Fy. So rearranging the terms you can calculate plastic section modulus required. So here we are getting value near about 77,000 mm cube. So for this value you select the section from steel table. Initially as this is a plastic section modulus, you need to select the section from annexure H of IS 800, because plastic section modulus values are not available in steel table. So directly consider near about 25 to 40% increment in this particular value. Correct. So that values are to be increased. So I will consider 40%. So calculated value into 40%, I am getting near about 107.8 into 10 raised to 3 mm cube. So directly selecting section from your annexure H, page number 138 of IS 800, I will try ISMC 150 at the rate 16.4 kg per meter having properties. So copy down the properties of the section. So these are the properties. Now you can observe that we are available with plastic section modulus about major axis, but plastic section modulus about y side is not known to us. That is to be calculated using equal area axis, and already this calculation we have seen, area by 2 plus x1 bar plus x2 bar. These calculations are to be performed. Now from this figure you can see this is a channel section having overall of depth 150 and your width of flange is total 75. Now CG will be acting at CYY value 22.2. So this vertical value is at a distance of 22.2. So this remaining value will be 52.8. Correct. So we'll consider these particular figures as your first figure A1 and this figure as A2. So calculating x bar, initially A1 A2 plus A1 into x1 plus A2 into x2 divided by A1 plus A2. So calculating performing the calculations for these particular two figures and this vertical web, and again similarly for flanges you are getting your x1 bar as 16.48 and x2 bar as 26.4. Now putting the values in the formula, ZPY calculated will be equal to 44766.722 mm cube. So from this calculation, plastic section modulus about major and minor axis are known to us. Now directly we'll go for classification of cross section in case of channel section. So classification of cross section, BF by TF is equal to 75 divided by 9 width of flange by thickness of flange, that is 8.33 less than 9.4 epsilon, therefore it is plastic. Similarly D by TW, so that is H1 by TW we are getting as 19.75, and again this is less than 42 epsilon, therefore it is again plastic. So simply we can define from this, your selected cross section is a plastic section and therefore beta B is going to be 1.0. Now just calculating the design bending strength along both the axes MdZ and MdY, putting beta B as 1.0, calculated plastic section modulus about both the axes Fy as 250 and gamma M0 as 1.1. We are getting design bending strength along Z side 27.23 kN meter and along Y side 10.17 kilonewton meter. So likewise both the design bending strength are greater than your maximum factored loading, that you can see that values were equal to 17.57 and second was 0.796. These are the maximum factored bending moment acting and our capacity is greater, it is 27 and 10.70, therefore it is safe. Therefore check for overall strength of your section. So again acting on both the axes, it will be mz upon mdz plus my upon mdy should be less than or equal to 1.0, and almost we are getting 0.72 value which is less than 1.0, therefore it is safe for combined loading. Now here this calculation can also be performed for shear capacity. You are available with the loading, calculate the transverse loading. Now the vertical loading acting is a transverse load, that is 4883.2 Newton per meter is the transverse loading and span is 6 meter. Therefore W into L by 2 will be the maximum shear force. Calculate the design shear strength capacity of channel section VD equal to area of web into Fy divided by gamma M0, and just check 0.6 VD value whether it is less or greater for low shear condition, high shear condition. You can satisfy that equation. Last check, you again go for directly check for deflection. So uniformly distributed load acting, therefore maximum deflection will be 5 WL raised to 4 upon 384 EI. So putting W as service loading, that is vertical service loading. Vertical service loading will be 255.437, this only value we are going to consider. So that calculated value into L value is 6000 divided by 384, E is 2 into 10 raised to 5 and I is moment of inertia about major axis. We are getting maximum deflection according to loading as 32.24 mm, 32.24 mm because of service load, and maximum allowed deflection is near about 6000 divided by 150 for elastic cladding. Two types of cladding are there from IS 800, elastic cladding and brittle cladding. So as sheets we are using, it is a elastic type of material, therefore for elastic cladding maximum allowed deflection is span divided by 115, that is equal to 40 mm, and our value is near about equal to 32.24, therefore it is safe for deflection also. So likewise for design numericals in case of purling sections, your forces are to be divided into components as horizontal and vertical, and likewise your calculations can be completed. So this particular numerical is sometimes asked for your in semester or end semester examination, or this again it is compulsory for your term work calculations also. Correct. So here the numerical is completed. Here purposefully I have not given check for shear because it is going to satisfy, but you try to complete that entire numerical by giving your shear check. Design shear strength of your section 0.6 VD into design shear strength, and check that value with your maximum calculated factored shear force whether it is low shear condition or high shear condition. If it is already a low shear condition, in that cases your calculation performed here are correct, but if it will be a high shear condition, in that cases you need to revise the calculation and you need to calculate FBD value for performing the entire solution of this particular numerical. So in this numerical we have adapted channel section for purling cross section. You may adapt I section also. Correct. So if you are still feeling any doubt regarding this particular calculations, you can contact me. So thank you very much.